What's up, guys? Back out here in the shop, and we got to get the engine primed. These gear rotor pumps on these mod motors are tough to get primed. A lot of people will put Vaseline in the pump, packet full of that to help it get primed. But what we got, it's a little different setup, but it works just as well. So I'll show you what we got going on here. So this is what we got. This is right here. It's just a 1 gallon, garden sprayer, basically is what it is. You put your oil in there. We're running, for initial break-in, we're running the Driven BR40. It's a conventional 1040 weight break-in oil. High zinc, high phosphorus, to help everything break in. You put a few quarts in there. And on the end of the nozzle, down here, this is the nozzle trigger for it. You take the end off, you put a hose on it. And then you take on my setup, this is what we got. We'll take this, this is a 1/4 inch MPT to a barb fitting. This will fit on that hose over here, on the end of the hose, and I'll show you where we're going to connect that. This oil pressure sensor here goes into the filter housing. I'll unscrew that out of there, screw this in there, put the hose on there, and then we'll pump up the sprayer, get 40, it'll hold, I think it said 40 or 50 PSI, it'll hold pressure-wise. Pump it up to as much as we can, pull the trigger, and get that oil pumped in there, and get oil in there. Because otherwise, I could crank this thing for, hours, and it'll never get pressure built up. These are tough. Even after we do this, we probably won't get no pressure on the gauge cranking it. We'll have to crank it and start it, and after 2 to 3 seconds it'll finally get oil pressure. These are just a bear to get primed, so not a big deal. If you ever run into that and you're not getting oil pressure from just cranking it, you're probably going to have to prime it with something like this, and then you're going to have to start it, and then after a couple seconds, 3 to 5 seconds at the most, you should have oil pressure, and then you'll be good to go. It'll be primed and you won't have an issue. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to get this installed, get everything hooked up, and then we'll be right back. Alright, we got her set up here. Ran her over to this filter head. Got a remote oil filter set up, and it's mounted to the frame here. Let me get you a better shot here. And it runs from, it's gonna be hard to see, can get you a shot. Where them red hoses right there, there's an adapter to bolts to the block, and then you run your lines over to this remote filter head. This is a MMR relocation kit. Then we got the T up there for the pressure sensor, and we just tapped into that with a 1/4 inch MPT to a barb, 1/4 inch barb, with some hose ran down to the head of the garden sprayer deal, and I just got the trigger zip tied open. And we're pumping in there. We've ran probably 3 or 4 quarts in it by now. Let's see how much we got left in here. Yeah, there ain't much left. You can see it's right about there. So once that's finished, we'll check our level, and we'll have about 10 quarts total in there. So we'll see where that gets us on a dipstick. But I'm gonna let this thing finish up, and then we'll come back and check the level on it. Hopefully in the next couple weeks, we're gonna get a Strange Engineering spool and 35 spline axles, and we're likely going to go with the C-clip eliminator kit instead of the 9-inch ends. It's just a money and time thing, so we'll probably just go with the Strange C-clip eliminators, their 35 spline axles, and their 35 spline spool. We already got our what did we get? 327 gear. And we got the bearing kit and shim kit. So once we get that, we can put all that stuff back together and get this thing set on the ground. We will do the AC lines last, because we're going to have to custom make them, because we got so much crap in this engine bay, you can't run the factory shit. So yeah. But like I said, we got the engine pumped up, 10 quarts in there. When I crank it, I'm showing 60 pounds on my oil pressure gauge, so that's great. And that's just from cranking. So this thing's gonna have some good oil pressure, cold at least. And this is 1040, like I showed you earlier. that Joe Gibbs oil, braking oil. And the plan is to run that about, we'll say about 500 miles, get it broken with that, and then we'll swap over probably to a synthetic or a semi-synthetic, possibly. We'll see. Actually, I think that's right. We had already got some oil. We got the Rotella T5. It's a synthetic blend. It's a 1030 SAE. We got these. They had these on sale at, I think it was AutoZone or Advance. One of the two. Had them on sale. I think it's a 5-quart jug, right? What is it? 1 gallon. So it's 4 quarts. They had them on sale for like $9. So I bought 2 of them. Shit. Can't beat that. I'll have to get a little more, obviously, because we're going to have about 11 quarts. So we'll need another one of them. But we got that. And then this is what we're going in the transmission with. This is the synchro mesh. We're going to put that in the transmission. And then we just got some regular Merc on for the power steering. So, but we're good. Don't have any leaks yet. That's good. I got the power steering fluid in, the engine oil in, and we don't see any leaks yet. So this runs a hydro boost, so it uses power steering pressure for your assist on the brakes. So we're going to need that to be nice and tight, no leaks. So I'm going to wait to put coolant in it until after we get it first started, because something happens and we got to take something apart again. I don't want to drain coolant out of it and all that crap. So I will do that last. And yeah, man, I mean, we're making headway. The driver's side down pipe set up. We got it running back to the exhaust cutout, and it's an electronic one with a switch that's fed into the cab, and it'll dump out, and then from here we'll just run it back and connect to the muffler pipe setup. And you see the solenoids right here, and the wire goes up through where the shifter boot is. And then I'll show you our switch setup. Took out the coin holder and opened it up so the switch, let me get the key out, so the switch can fit right in there. This is your coin holder that goes there from the factory, and we just mounted the switch there, so you can open it, close it, etc. There's a lot of extra wires, so we're gonna have to get this put away. I got it zip tied up for now. And then you got your power and your ground is fused, and that's what will control the exhaust cutouts. And then this boot goes over that. It'll go down in there and bolt down, and the wire will come in this opening here. I'll probably cut a little gap there so I don't chafe through it. And we'll mount that down there, and then that'll be good. Still got to do the other side, but one piece at a time. So that's the first cutout. Our oil's almost done. Ain't much left in there. We got the front bumper on it, headlights put in it. So it's starting to look more like a car now on the front end. And here's a quick shot. Like I said, I got this one pretty much finished up. We'll have to get some mufflers, and then we'll tie in back there. But that's wrapped now. I got to do this passenger side pipe. Got to make that. And then, oops. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. So quick shot of it. Everything seems to be working all right. Just got to finish up a few of the wires, get them tucked out of the way and cleaned up a little bit, and then we'll be good. But once this thing down here finishes, we'll come back and see what our oil level's at. Alright fellas, we're gonna take a dipstick and check. We've got 10 quarts in it now, so I want to see where it's at on the fluid, or on the dipstick, after we got oil, all through the relocation kit, up to the oil cooler, and then back to the filter, and then to the engine. So we got 10 quarts in it now, so we'll see what it shows on a dipstick, see if we're going to need any more. The pan holds roughly 8, and then we figured another 2 for all the lines and cooler and shit. Yeah, it looks like we're going to need probably another quart. See if I can get it to focus. you can see it, but it ends right about here. We need it right about in the middle, so we'll need about another quart. And you know, I spilled a little bit changing the fittings out for when I primed it with the tank, so I might have lost a half a quart, so there might be 10.5. So this will probably hold 11, 10.5 to 11. So we'll just remember that for the next times, and it's what we got, man. We're getting close, and boy, am I ready to hear this thing run. And we ain't got a whole lot to do, you know. Trying to do this stuff on a budget, so it's tough. We got just a handful of parts left that we need. We're getting, hopefully, in the next couple weeks. Yeah, and the weather's changing, man. The last couple days, we had it in the lower 70s is what it was outside, so it was super nice. Right, it was a little cooler today. Only got into the 60s, but it's, you know, it's, what is that? 50. Yeah, about 50 degrees exactly on that gauge. And then what's this one say? We're about 51.4 on that one, so that's what we're at. So yeah. So weather's getting good, getting some work done. We're gonna finish this thing up and we'll get it running down track. But all right, fellas, I'm gonna call it tonight, and we'll touch base again here shortly and get a few more things finished up, get that much closer to finishing it up. So, all right. So these are the front wheels we're going to run. And these are some Mickey Thompson radios, 26, I6, R17s. So, yeah, so like I was saying, we're making headway. We're getting super close. Excited, man. I'm hoping to get this thing down the track here pretty soon. And then we're going to have a bunch of videos going to do some testing tunes, getting the tune all squared away. You know, that's going to take some time, so we're going to have some Mega Squirt tuning videos coming up, where we'll walk through basically every step of the setup on this particular car. There's a lot of nuances when you're running coil on plug, and like I said, I had to wire a transistor box to run these ignition coils for a full sequential fuel and spark. So there's going to be some setup that we're going to have to do, and we'll test everything, make sure everything works, everything's wired up, because I had to build this entire harness. This is all custom stuff, so we'll get that all squared away.